Hey friends, we are here today to show 2 new Amazon books that are now available for purchase. I'm super excited. I'm very interested to know what you think about them. And so we are just going to get right into it. I'm going to show both books and I'm going to show a full flip through of each of them. So, I hope you enjoy it. I do like filming these flip throughs because if you are ever interested in one of my books and you want to see the inside, for whatever reason, Amazon does not show pictures of the inside of the books, but I do have a full flip through of all of my books. So if you're ever interested in one of my past books, my planners, savings challenge books, whatever, just know there's always going to be a video out here on my channel. I believe I have a playlist specifically for my books. You could go to the playlist, find the book that you're wanting to see, and then I will show a full flip through. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with book number 1, and this is, ta-da, the Progressive $1,000 Emergency Fund. Now, I have had, as you all know, in the past, a Progressive $1,000 Savings Challenge book. This, I feel like, is like the upgraded version, because the previous one, that was my first one. I will admit things got a little wonky with the amounts because I included 15s in there, which kind of threw things off. If you watched my channel last year, I guess it would have been, when I completed that book, sometimes the 15s kind of like threw a little bit of a wrench in it. That book is still perfectly fine, but this I feel like is kind of the upgraded version, like I said. So this is to help you save your first $1,000, or it doesn't have to be your first $1,000, but $1,000 towards your emergency fund. Now, obviously, you don't need to use this to save just for an emergency fund. You could save $1,000 for anything, right? But I know a lot of people out there are just starting out, or they're trying to build their emergency fund. An emergency fund is super duper important. And so, yeah, that's where this book comes in. So here is the cover. Here is the back. As always, you have my QR code there. If you scan this, that will bring you to my YouTube channel. And I really like how it turned out. It is a 6x9 size, so you could see it's probably a little bit larger than A5. Let's really quickly take out my A5 binder. Yeah, so you could see here, if I wanted to put it in my binder, it actually fits perfectly. So that's really nice if you use A5 and you want to keep this in here, and then you can keep like an envelope behind it, you know, you can feel free to do that as well. All right, so let's go through this. As I said, I'm going to show you each and every page, and it's extremely simple, okay? The first page is just the little instruction page. It just tells you how you complete it. If you know how progressive savings challenges work, or you're familiar with my prior book, you will already know how it works. Now, as I always say, you can just, you know, do the book like normal, like it's meant, but you can also do the challenges individually to save way more, or you can also kind of do a combination. So the small challenges in the beginning, you could do those individually, and then as the amounts get larger, if you want to do those progressively, it's completely your choice. And then right down here at the bottom of this page, you have a little start date and end date, so you can write in when you start and when you end if you choose to. I know some of us really like to do that. Okay, so that's just your little instruction page, and then we start. Again, super duper simple. So for these books, I went with easy shapes that, you know, are simple to color in. So you're not going to see any. First of all, it's a completely black and white book. You're coloring it in. You're not going to see any like icons. Like, these are just all simple shapes, okay? And I did it that way purposely, again, so they're really easy to color in. You can color them in. You could, of course, just cross them out. You could put a check mark, whatever you want to do. The way this book works is you're going to have some shapes on a page. Down in the corner, it's going to tell you what each shape is worth. So, for example, each of these little shapes are worth $1. Let me actually zoom in a little bit so it's hopefully easier for you all to see. So each of these little shapes is worth $1, and then your total is 10. So there's 10 of these little shapes. Each of them is worth $1. So you'll have $10 when you finish this page. Okay? And then that's how the entire book works. So you start with this first challenge, you save your first $10, and if you're not familiar with the way the progressive works is, once you finish the first challenge, you take your $10 from this page and you carry it over then to the second challenge. So right off the bat, you're going to color in $10 on this second challenge before you add any additional money into the second challenge. The second challenge introduces this new teardrop shape, and it tells you down here that each of the little teardrops are worth $2, and then the total on the page is $20. So right when you start this challenge, you can color in $10. You're already halfway done with this second challenge. And you can choose to just color in all the $1, you can color in the $2, you can do a combination, however you want to do it. The way I would do it is I would color in the larger amounts on the page first, because it's easier to get more done when you have the smaller amounts left. That's just my opinion. You know, obviously you can do it how you want. So you're saving $20 here. So then once you save $20, you're going to take that money and you're going to carry it over then to the next challenge. The next challenge totals $40. And on this challenge, we have the teardrops still, which are $2. And then we have this shape up here, which the key tells you is $5. So you're doing that all the way through. Every time you finish a challenge, you're carrying the money over to the next challenge. And so basically, you have a head start on the next challenge. So I'll just go through the pages quickly. They're just, again, all like that. So again, we have 2s and 5s here for a total of 80. This one has 5s and then 10s for a total of 100. Then we have 5s and 10s still on this page for a total of 150. And then still 5s and 10s for 200s. Then we have some 1s, some 5s, and some 10s for a total of 275. Every page is going to tell you what each little shape is, just in case you forget, so you don't have to try to remember that. Then we have more 5s and 10s for a total of 375. I tried to keep these as low as possible while still being able to, you know, save like enough that the page totals up to. Hopefully that makes sense. And again, every time you finish a page, however much you save, you're carrying that over to the next page and coloring in that amount on that next page to give you a head start. Okay, then we have 5s, 10s, and now 20s, and the total on this page is 450. Then we have some more 20s, a couple 10s down here for the total of 580. Then we have some more 10s and 20s, the total of 650. Then we have 10s, 20s, and now 30s, and the total is 780. And then again, 10s, 20s, and 30s for a total of 850. Again, 10s, 20s, and 30s for the total of 920. And then for the last page, again, still 10, 20, and 30 for the total of $1,000. So the highest number or amount for any one little shape is $30. And I know $30 per shape is a lot, but think you're saving $1,000. That's a lot of money. And you are going to have the added benefit of carrying over each challenge. So this is what I mean. Like on this page, we have 10s, 20s, and 30s. The prior page is 920. So what I would do is I would take that 920 and I would start by coloring in as many 30s as possible. And then when you put your own money in, or like, you know, your extra money over and above the prior challenge money, then you can have the lesser amounts to color in. I hope that makes sense. So that's how I would do it. I would always start by coloring in the highest number possible. Okay, so that's the challenge. Then you just have your little page that says, congratulations, you saved $1,000. But then in the back, because again, I know some of these are high, like $30 per icon is high, you have your little itty bitty challenges. And so what you can do with these is you can use these to save small amounts and then add them up to these larger challenges in the front. So you have, for this one, each icon is $1. You have 10 of them, you save $10, and then you do that 4 times. But then you have a couple pages of that, I think 3. Yeah, so you have 3 pages of these little $10 challenges. There's 4 on each page, and there's 3 pages, so 12 of these total. That's $120. So you can do them all before you like add the money to the front. You could do a couple of however you want to do it. You can do 3 of them to get your $30 to come back and color in one of these 30s. However you want to do it. These are designed to just help you build up to larger amounts in a small way. Okay, so then you have your $10 challenges, then you have $20 challenges. Okay, so you have 1s and 2s here on these, and again, it's 3 pages of that. So 3 on each page times 3 pages, so you have 9 $20 challenges, okay? And then you have $30 challenges, same thing, still 1s and 2s, 3 per page, and then 3 pages of those. So these again are designed to help you save towards the bigger icons, but you're saving smaller amounts. So you're building up one bigger icon with smaller amounts. I hope that makes sense. Now, you don't have to use these that way. You can use these for additional savings if you want, or not use them at all. That's completely up to you. But I wanted to include those in the back again, because I know the larger amounts are a little bit harder to save up. So, and that's it. There's a couple of blank pages in here. That's just whatever. You can use those or not. But that is the Progressive $1,000 emergency book. What do you guys think? I think it's like an entire step up from my last Progressive book. I just think it's going to be like so simple to color, and not that the other one wasn't. It was, but just by using these shapes, I don't know. I just think it's going to be really easy. So that's that. Now, the second book builds off of this. Okay, so that's the first book. And the second book is going to be a big whammy. It is the Progressive $5,000 Savings Challenge book. You can see the covers are similar. I wanted them to be similar so you can see that they are like the same concept, but obviously, this one's saving a lot more. This one is still a 6x9 size. They're the same size. So this one will fit in a binder. However, look how fat it is, you guys. So this is the 5,000. This is the 1,000. You could see it's substantially larger, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But that is this one. I love the cover. It's so rainbowy and pretty. And yeah, it's I just really like how it turned out. So maybe you don't want to save 1,000, maybe you want to save more than 1,000 because you're a baller or you have big savings goals. That's where this book comes in. So this is the same concept though. It's a Progressive Savings Challenge book. You're just saving 5,000 instead of 1,000. So the challenges are going to work the same way. You complete one challenge, carry the money over to the next challenge, and then so on and so on. Okay, so again, you have your instructions, and then this under here, it says save your own way, and this kind of tells you the differences basically. So this book is split into different sections. Essentially, you have the first 5 sections are $1,000 each. So the first 5 sections are essentially 5 of these, okay? So you have one book that saves up to $1,000, and you have that 5 times for a total of $5,000. It also then, after that, has a $5,000 section where it's just from $0 to $5,000 one time. You can choose how you want to save, or if you choose to do both sections, you're going to save $10,000. So again, this book is going to be a longer term savings. It's much thicker because it has a lot more challenges in it. And if you want to do, say, the $1,000 challenges first and save 5K and then put this aside and then come back and do the larger challenge, you can. Or maybe you want to do like 1 or 2 of the $1,000 challenges and then, you know, set it aside, come back, you still have 3 more $1,000 challenges and then still the $5,000. So you have a lot more versatility with this book. So there you go. So the first section, and then we have a start and end date for each of the challenge. So again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 $1,000 challenges, and then 1 $5,000 challenge. So you can write in your start and end dates for each of those. Okay. Then from here, the book is going to be exactly the same as the other one, up until the $5,000 challenge. So you have your first 1K section, and again, it's the same. So you're starting with $1. You know, saving 10, carry that over to save 20, carry that over to save 40, and so on. It's exactly the same. I took the $1,000 sections and just put it in this book 5 times. So you have your first $1,000 here. It says congratulations, and then it starts on the second $1,000. So again, you have that 5 times for a total of 5,000. If you want to save 5,000 and do all the challenges this way, 1,000 at a time, you can. Or like I said, you can do 1 of them, 2 of them, whatever you want to do. Okay, so then you have that. And then after that, there's another 1K. And then after that starts your $5,000 challenge. So this is bigger. Obviously, you're saving way more. So the starting amounts are going to be larger, and eventually you're going to get larger icon amounts. Okay, so the first challenge you save, instead of $10, you're saving $100 again, because you have a larger goal here. So we have 5s and 10s, and you're saving $100. Then once you're done with that, you're going to take your $100 and carry it over, and the next page saves $200 with 5s and 10s. Carry that $200 over. The next page is $375, still 5s and 10s. Then carry that over and you have a $450 page. Now we have the 20s introduced. The icons in this book are the same as the other book, except you are going to have larger icons in here once you get to the larger challenges. So you have 5s, 10s, and 20s here for a total of $450. The next challenge, 10s and 20s for a total of $580. 10s and 20s again for a total of $650. 10, 20, and 30 for a total of $780. 10, 20, and 30 again for a total of $850. 10, 20, and 30 again for a total of $920. And then 10s, 20s, and 30s once again for a total of $1,000. Then we have 30s and we have 50s. Okay, and this one is $1,500 total. This is all 50s for a total of $2,000. We have 50s and 80s now for a total of $2,500. 50s and 80s again for a total of $3,000. And then we have 80s and 100s. The highest icon in this, or amount for each icon in this book, is $100. It's these little like squiggly lines. And this challenge is $3,500. Then it's all hundreds. 4,000, 4,500, and 5,000. And remember, you're carrying each over. So on the $5,000 page, you're carrying over 4,500. So you're automatically going to be able to color in most of this before you put in any additional money. Okay? And that's your $5,000. Now, just like with the other book, you have your congratulations page. You also have the itty bitty challenges, but they're a little bit larger. So the ones in the $1,000 book were 10, 20, and 30. These ones start at 50, again, just because you're saving a larger amount. So you have your 5s and 10s for a total of 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a page. And then 1, 2, 3 pages of those. So you have 15 of those $50 challenges. Then you have $100. Still just 5s and 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, again, 5 on this page. And then 3 pages for a total of 15. And that's it. I don't think I did anything over 100 now. So that is the $5,000 book. What do you all think? I'm super interested to know. Now, They are on Amazon. They're available now. They're linked below. They are affordable, really cheap, but the $5,000 one is obviously going to be a little bit more just because it's much thicker, you know. So if you're interested in checking them out, again, they're linked below. The link to my Amazon storefront is also below. If you go, instead of going through the direct link, if you go through my storefront and then find these books, I may get a little bit of commission on that as well, like for a bonus. So thank you if you do choose to do that. But thank you if you check these books out. Let me know in the comments, what do you all think? I know I haven't had a book in a while, so I was super excited to put these out. I do have another version in the works, and I really want to make another planner for 2027. So if you have ideas on what kinds of themes you would like to see for a budget planner, or what kind of pages you like inside your budget planner, I would love to know, because I like a new planner every year. I don't know, I just do. And I really want to create one. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback on all of these. And that's it. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, and I will catch you in the next video.